Dear Motorist, only 2 words into this video and I have an important side note. Yes, that is singular. And Motorist, you know who you are. Our encounter today, which only concluded less than an hour ago, left me bewildered and concerned. The bewilderment began at once, when I was approaching the end of my journey across the crosswalk. You stopped your car and stared at me intently. I noticed this and tried to meet your gaze, which is when you started doing this. Motorist, what does this mean? My initial impression was that you might be waving, but the look of scorn in your eye did not match the friendly intentions that I was projecting onto you in order to make that assumption. No, after a moment of thought, I realized that you were making reference to the "Don't Walk" sign, which was lit up behind me. You were expressing anger at me for crossing the road, and to be completely honest, if our roles had been reversed, I might have expressed that very same anger at you. But even if the roles were reversed, and I was the one expressing my anger at you, it still wouldn't make it okay. Motorist, let me tell you about that crosswalk that we encountered each other on today. The walk button on that crosswalk really sucks, and sometimes that little white man doesn't light up, and the "Don't Walk" sign stays up for the entirety of the green light that's going in parallel. Let me assure you, Motorist, that before you arrived on the scene, and while I was standing at that crosswalk, pondering the crime that it would be to cross against a light that was set against me, I considered waiting for that light. If it took 2 cycles of the traffic, 3 cycles of the traffic, 4 cycles of the traffic, 100 cycles of the traffic. If I never got to cross that road, I considered obeying the light. Which brings me to, I guess, what is my second point, which is yourself and your attitude. I realize that basing my judgment on appearance alone is fallacious at best and a practical crime at worst. But still I have to wonder where you were going. You didn't appear to be a surgeon rushing to save the life of an orphan, and you didn't carry the air of a diplomat rushing toward the scene of a highly combustible international incident. And Motorist, let me tell you, I feel like today is the day when I am able to make such a judgment about international incidents. But this tangent has no real value for you, I realize, and it has no real value for the conversation that we're having either. It's mostly just a little tiny ego stroke for me. Please forgive me. It occurs to me that your reaction to our encounter today might have actually been informed by the company you were keeping. I noticed an attractive young woman in the seat beside you. You, being an admittedly attractive young man yourself, makes me wonder about the nature of this relationship. But again, I can't really guess. She could have been your girlfriend, she could have been your wife, she could have been your sister, or she could have been your coworker. Either way, it was an audience, and I feel like that informed your indignant, strange gesturing. But I will just say that if she's the kind of girl to be impressed at a strange, weird gesture of indignation and anger at a pedestrian whose only desire in the entire world is to get home, take his medication, and go to bed after being awake for 24 hours, well then I am so sorry for both of you. I think I understand what I should do moving forward. Next time I leave the house, I will bring a tent, some cooking supplies, and some dried meats. If I encounter that light again, and that button is still not working, and that light will still not permit me to cross that crosswalk, well, there is a grassy little hill nearby, and if you promise to come visit, maybe I can make a life for myself there. Sincerely, Kenmore Thompson. Jerk. And yes, after 24 hours of being awake, and an entire day of work where I lifted heavy things, this was the first thing I did when I got home. Please, you don't need to judge me. I've already done it for you.